starting up blueprints, and I have a goal for this run. My goal is to draft every yellow floor plan available. So there are 8 regular floor plans available that are yellow rooms. And so utilizing the banner of the king, I am going to switch it to yellow so that I am more likely to draft shop rooms or yellow rooms. So the goal here is to do a full house and draft all of the available yellow rooms. It's going to be a little tricky because one of those yellow rooms is not available to me at this exact moment. That is the Armory. The Armory is only available once you have the knight as your chess power. And as you saw, my chess power was the banner of the king. And so I need to figure out a way to get the knight during this run and still have open spaces to draft the Armory. And so now I am going to draft the gift shop. This is the yellow room that is free and has 3 doors with it. Goes to the left and to the right in this circumstance. I'm also able to draft the kitchen. So I have the kitchen and the gift shop already. And I am well on my way to my full house. And well on my way to the chess puzzle pieces. And well on my way to all of the yellow pieces. Kennel seems like a good fit here. Ooh, an apple. I decide I'm not going to draft here. I only have 1 key left, and I don't want to use it right there. I want to save and preserve that key. I have 2 rerolls, but I decide not to use it. I'm just going to go with Showroom here. It's going to get me 2 keys and a gem. So now I'm going to go through the kitchen. I'm going to pause here for a second and take a look at something in my controller. All good. So going out through entrance hall, I'm going to draft on the left side here. And I need something that goes all the way through, and dining room does that. I'm going to pick up my lunchbox. Now I'm hoping for something that goes up and not just a dead end, or a really good dead end. But I decide I want something that goes up to complete my full house. I have the observatory, and so I have the spiral of the stars. And the spiral of the stars is negative right now for me, and so I deliberately do not click on that constellation. By going through the observatory and using the telescope, I was able to get the Inkwell constellation, and the Inkwell constellation allows me to redraw using stars. And so I'm able to use multiple redraws here just using the stars. My goal was to get the laundry. The reason I was trying to get the laundry is I want to utilize my 213 gold that I have, and I want to convert them to gems or gems and keys or gems and keys and steps. Whatever it is, I at least want to convert them to gems, because then I will be able to have essentially unlimited redrafts by utilizing the study with the laundry. I don't have the study yet, but I know that I'll be getting it at some point. And so there's the study. I'm able to draft the study, and while drafting, you may exchange gems for a reroll. There's some dice right there. I get those dice. Don't forget to pick up the gem inside of the safe. But now I have 2 gems and 211 coin. So what I need to do is I need to get back to the laundry room and convert some of my coin into other resources. But before I do that, I know that I'm going to have to draft the showroom during my all yellow run. And so if I draft the showroom and I don't have any money, it's not going to do me any good having the showroom. And so what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to get the showroom so that I can use some of my coins and then convert the rest into gems or keys. So I use my last 2 gems and I get into the showroom. I purchase the Emerald Bracelet. The Emerald Bracelet means that I won't have to pay any gems for any rooms. I purchased the Master Key, which is just like it sounds. It's a key that works on any door except for security doors. And the last thing I buy is the Drafting Compass. What the Drafting Compass does is it allows you to rotate a floor plan however way you want it, but only the first 3. After you do a redraw or a reroll, it won't let you do the switching around to the angles, but it'll allow you to do it on the first set. So now I just drafted the billiard room, the Speak Easy. In my playthrough, I use the upgrade disc Speak Easy for the dart room or the billiards room because I didn't want to do all the hard math. And so the billiards puzzle is literally just one question and it's simple addition. And then you get your keys. It's awesome. I love the Speak Easy. So I'm going to draft the aquarium here, but I want to rotate it so it's going the way that I want it. I don't need it going towards the kennel because I already have the kennel there. I want it going towards the foundation. So I rotate it and, oh, what do we have here? 2 items. We have the shovel and we have the compass. I don't want the compass though. I want to still be able to draft down if necessary, and the compass will prohibit me from doing that. I want to use the commissary here, but I want it to go the right direction, so I use my drafting compass, and there we go. The only thing I can really buy in here is gems. I don't want to buy gems at this point because I have the Emerald Bracelet. I don't really need it. Using the Master Key here, and I was looking for the treasure trove. The reason I was looking for the treasure trove is it should have 150 or more coins in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some of this gold. I'm not going to pick it all up. I'm going to pick up some of it. I have a change of heart, and then I say, nah, I'm just going to pick it all up. And so now I pick up all of the gold. Now I have 181 gold. I decide to use one of the keys on the chest here that says 2 realms have the same color banner. Well, we know that's not true. There was a previous note in there that said all green memos in white chests are lies. And so I agree with that. Don't want to do the closed exhibit here. I want to do a 3-door room, and the closed exhibit had the key cards, and I just don't have a key card, so that won't work for me. I do the conference room, and I'm able to use my lockpick here. I want a room that goes both north and south, and security does that. I was a little worried about drafting it and it having security doors, but thankfully it did not have security doors, and I'm able to utilize my master key. I don't like any of those first options, and so I'm using my stars as redrafts. I go with locksmith here because I want to be able to buy extra keys at some point because I have so much money. Because I have so much money, I want to be able to buy whatever I want, and the extra key that I'm looking for would be a secret garden key or a special key of some sort, one that I'm not able to just use the master key for. I think long and hard about freezing myself because I have the master key and I have the Emerald Bracelet, so I don't really have any need for any gems or keys at this moment. I have the 2 items that will keep me going. And so ultimately I say, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm aborting the plan of going to the laundry and getting gems to redraw with gems, and I'm committed now to just using my stars to redraw with stars. I get the hallway here, but I don't like the positioning of it, and so I'm going to rotate it and rotate it again, and now it's going the way that I want it. So now I am frozen, but it doesn't really matter. The only part that matters is I don't have any coins available to me, and so I couldn't buy any food if I needed to go to the kitchen. None of these rooms work for me, and so I'm going to use a redraw. I go with vestibule here because it goes into the antechamber and it goes past and it goes down. So it is a 4-door room that we're able to use perfectly. We match it up with the passageway, which is also a 4-door room. This door is locked, but never to worry. I do a redraw here because I just don't want those rooms. I want something that is a little bit better than those ones, and I have 140 redraws at this point, so I can use as many as I want. So I see casino there, and I'm highly tempted to do casino. I decide to do it even though it takes me out of being able to go into the antechamber from this side. But ultimately, my goal isn't to get in the antechamber. My goal is to draft all the shop rooms and get a perfect run. I needed to draft the office because the office is where the king is. So I have the king, and now I need the queen, which is found in the study or her ladyship's chambers. And so I don't have either of those just yet. And so that's my goal. That's what I'm going for, is the study. When it comes to redraws, I intentionally am trying to get under 100 stars. Right now I'm at 135 stars, and 135 stars, you don't get any redraws the next day because you have to have 50 in order to get the inkwell, and you have to have at least 100 to get the spiral of the stars. And so when you have 135, you would get the 100 for the spiral of the stars and then a random 35 for the rest of them. And so I'm not nervous about using a whole bunch of redraws. Quite frankly, I would be happy if I got under 100. So no concern there. I think about these rooms and I think, oh yeah, library. I need to have the library in order to have the bookshop. And so I have space available right there. So I'm not going to draft there just yet. I want to wait, and I want to get all of my other yellow rooms out of the way, and I want to fill up the rest of the board before I go for the bookshop. So dumb about the vestibule. Sometimes it's locked. Just when you walk in, it's one of the random 4 doors that gets locked. Kind of lame, but it is what it is. I go dark room here because the room to the left in this left corner, it doesn't really matter what it is. It cannot be the weight room because it's in the corner, and so I really don't care what it is. I'm able to get a couple bananas in here. Checking to see if there's any items at the conference room, and there's not. Now that I'm here in the foundation, I am trying to draft out of the foundation. As you can see, I get lost frequently. I changed my mind about wanting to draft out of that door in the foundation and instead choose to come over here. Using the master key, I have unlimited access to wooden doors. The only thing that is going to be a problem are keycard doors, and we've yet to encounter one of those. There's the throne room. Boiler room goes straight up, so that one might work. I think long and hard about boiler room, thinking about the possibilities of what else could there be. I still have plenty of redraws available, and so I'm contemplating, do I try to get something better, something that doesn't necessarily have a door going to the left. I decide, yeah, I can do better than that. Rotunda rotates and it goes up for me, which is exactly what I need. But again, I'm not going to draft there yet. I'm going to wait on that until a little bit later. I stop at the workshop to see if I have any available items to craft something, and I don't. So I quickly get up and leave. Had a couple of chests at the... Oh, baby. Look at what we find in one of the chests. A key card. Could not have asked for anything else. That's quite literally the best thing that we could have found in a chest is a key card. We have the master key, and so now with the key card, we are all set. Now that we are in the underground area where the chess puzzle is, I am mapping out the pieces, and so the chapel is where the bishop is, the nook is where the rook is, the observatory is where the knight is, the study is where the queen is, and the office is where the king is. And so I'm going to put those on here right now. There's the king in the office, there's the queen in the study, there's the rook in the nook, there's the pawn in the den, the knight in the observatory, and the bishop in the chapel. With all of those there, I'm now able to go to the knight and pick the power of the knight. And again, the reason why we're using the power of the knight is because doing so will add the armory to your draft pool. And so I have only a couple slots left, and I need to draft 2 yellow rooms. I need to draft the bookshop and the armory. I've done all of the other ones. I just need the bookshop and the armory. The bookshop has to be drafted off of the library, and so I've left a space specifically for that. I'm also hoping to use the vestibule and draft the armory there, or out of the spot in file number 1 going up the east hall. But before I do that, I need to draft my yellow outer room. And so my yellow outer room is going to be the trading post. So I'm making my way to the outer room, and I will be picking the trading post. It should be one of the first ones because it's yellow and we have the yellow banner of the king. So while I'm in here, I decide, I think I'm going to see what I can trade in. I trade in the lockpick for the lucky rabbit's foot. I don't need my shovel, and so I trade that for car keys, trade that for a coin purse, trade that for dice. Doing some other trading here, just seeing what it'll give me. My goal is to try to get rid of the stuff I'm not using and see if it'll give me anything good. Car keys are not good. I don't like car keys. All it does is opens up a box that's on the back of the car, and oftentimes it's just no good anyways. So car keys are trash. As I notice I only have 20 steps, I'm a little worried about what's going to happen. And I decide I need to thaw myself so I can buy some food at the kitchen. So I draft the furnace here, and I now have plenty of gold, and I'm going to the kitchen, and I'm going to buy all of the food in the kitchen, and it gets me well over 60 steps, so I'm all set to go on that now. So now here in the rotunda, and the goal here is to try and draft the armory out of the rotunda. So I get the master key out, and, well, it's none of those ones, so I redraw, and there it is on the third one. It doesn't go the way I want it to, but because I'm on the rotunda, I can rotate it to go the direction I do want it to go. So now that I am in the Armory, I decide I'm going to buy the Morning Star, the Self-Igniting Torch, and the Knight's Shield. So I buy everything I can buy, and now I'm coming over here and just looking to draft something to get my full house. I'm getting extra red rooms because I drafted a furnace a few minutes ago. And so when you draft a furnace, what happens is it then makes red rooms much, much, much more likely to appear in your draft. Master bedroom seems like a good call here because you get one step for each bedroom in your house. But I decide not to do that. I want a different one here. What I'm looking for is something very specific. I wanted a East Wing Hall. Nope, I didn't want East Wing Hall. I'm looking for items, and so I wanted to draft the walk-in closet. Now that I got the walk-in closet, I'm able to get shoes, a coupon book, a gem, and a key. So a pretty good haul there. Now I have just those last two spots left, one off of the library and one off of the vestibule, so I'm on my way there now. So now that we are in the morning room, going to go from the morning room into the library, where we have one opportunity to draft the bookshop. The bookshop has to be off of the library, and so we don't get in our first one, don't get in our second one. And there it is. On the third try, we get the bookshop. So we have successfully drafted every yellow room. We have the casino, the bookshop, the armory, the locksmith, the aquarium, the commissary, the showroom, the gift shop, the laundry room, and finally, the kitchen. We also have in the outer room, the trading post. That's all yellow rooms. Look at that, I've only drafted it 7 times. We got all 8 yellow rooms. We have the studio edition, and we have the outer room. I'm so excited that I was able to get this done, and so excited that I'm going to be able to get a full house out of it. I was able to accomplish both of the goals that I set out to get at the very beginning of this round.